He's back on a tennis court after a victory in a court of law, which means it's advantage Djokovic. He wrote, "Despite all that has happened, I want to stay and try to compete at the Australian Open. I remain focused on that." After 4 nights in the quarantine hotel in Melbourne, the world #1's case was laid before a judge. It included his PCR certificate for a positive COVID test on December the 16th. In his statement, Djokovic said, "The passport control officer asked me if I was vaccinated. I said no, but that I have a medical exemption." Judge Anthony Kelly backed Djokovic and said he'd done everything he could have been expected to do.
The government waved the white flag. They surrendered and told the court, and this is before the government had presented their counter-arguments, they conceded to the court that Mr Djokovic's visa should not be cancelled, the decision should be overturned.
On the streets of Melbourne, the clamour for him to be freed grew louder.
Stop this farce and let him play. Let him play the Australian Open. It's what he came out set to do. He did all the right things. He followed the rules.
Very disappointing, very embarrassing.
Serbian supporters then clashed with police who used pepper spray on the crowd. Tennis is rarely this divisive. In Belgrade, they have the victory they've lobbied for. Perhaps conveniently, the court didn't really get into what was going on in this photo. Djokovic with young Serbian tennis players from December the 17th, the day after he tested positive for COVID.
Was he at an event on the 17th of December?
Okay, so this press conference is adjourned at the moment.
Djokovic now has 6 days to prepare for a tournament that could see him crowned the greatest male tennis player of all time. But the Australian government could yet scupper him. They have the power to overrule the judge if they want to. Tom Parmenter, Sky News.
Officials from the United States and Russia held talks in Geneva today aimed at cooling tensions over Ukraine. The negotiations come at a time when relations between the two countries are at their most fraught since the Cold War. Well, this all follows